Welcome back to day 4 of the High Income Health Expert Challenge. Have you noticed that each day seems like it's been getting better than the last? I mean, we are covering some solid grounds, and it is exciting to see how you guys have been growing and you've been learning, you've been applying some of these principles, and gears have been going. I know people have been reaching out to me in the DMs and we've been speaking back and forth. Today, we're going to be talking about how to make big money with a small audience online. Contrary to popular belief, you don't need hundreds of thousands of followers to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And to be honest, just because health influencers out there are having millions of followers doesn't mean they're making millions of dollars. Because the reality is, a lot of health educators are broke. And a lot of health influencers or people with large audiences, they don't know how to monetize their knowledge online because many of the marketing gurus or content gurus out there who'll teach you about business is a lot of their strategies are geared towards getting more views, getting more likes and comments and shares. And they're really talking about virality and going viral. But just because your video goes viral does not directly translate to actually filling your bank account. Now, going viral might feed your ego, but it doesn't necessarily feed your family. And that's why a lot of business advice online is broken because they're so geared towards going viral and building this big audience. But what I'm going to share with you today is how you can get started today, even with a small audience. This is how our family business was able to generate over $500,000 in profit selling health education programs and having no email list, a very small social media following, and hardly anyone knew who I was. And these principles work even if you're just getting started. So the old way of business advice was really what they would say is, I remember in the first $1,000 course that I invested in, they were talking about how the first thing you want to do is you want to build an audience. And once you build an audience, they'll talk about 1,000 true fans. If you get 1,000 fans paying you $5 a month, then that's going to be $5,000 a month. And congratulations, you got yourself a business. But just because, in order to get 5,000 true fans, it can't just be 5,000 followers or casual people who like or follow you or subscribe. They've got to be, I mean, it might be 30,000 people to find 5,000 of them that will be true fans who'll buy everything that you sell. But building an audience can take months or years, or sometimes it could take hundreds of thousands of dollars in trying to build out that thing. But what I found is, why start from scratch when you could leverage other people's audiences? Because in business, anything that you lack in resources, you could always make up in leverage, leveraging other people's audiences, other people's knowledge, other people's experience. And what I mean by that is, right now, there are currently thousands of events that are taking place every day in America, and they are looking for speakers just like you. There are thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of channels and videos and Instagram pages, YouTube channels, and platforms that already have your ideal clients. They're congregating online. They already are tuning into these podcasts. And the host doesn't know how to monetize that audience. So if what you can do is you could say, look, instead of you starting to build an audience, what I recommend people do, the new way is to build a business. What we do, we help health educators to craft an irresistible offer that high-paying clients love to pay them for. And once you craft an offer, you start with a business, meaning who is the person you want to serve, what is the profitable problem you want to solve, and what is the profitable program that you want to package your health knowledge in. Whether that's a course, coaching, whether it's community, books, just getting clear on what is your program you're going to deliver to them. And once you have an offer, you're able to create content on other people's platforms based on solving similar problems that will create and increase a deeper desire into your back-end offer. So this is how to do that. And as I mentioned, following these strategies is how we've made over $500,000 having no email list, small social media following, and hardly anyone knew who I was. So what we're going to talk about is I want to share with you what I like to call the speaker's advantage, because the truth is health professionals who speak, I believe, have a strategic advantage over health professionals who do not speak. And what I mean by that is there are 7 strategic advantages you get as a speaker when implemented correctly. The first one is what I would like to call is a special advantage. And as a special advantage is that one of the things that I get asked a lot by health educators is there's already a lot of health professionals out there. They're solving different problems. They're helping people lose weight or fix diabetes or whatever. How do I stand out in a crowded market? And people think that they need to do something entirely new and different that's never been done before in order to monetize their knowledge. It's actually not true. In fact, the very fact that there are a lot of people out there who are solving a specific problem is many times evidence that that's a profitable problem to solve, that people are paying for it. And that's actually, competition is a good sign, because your goal is not just to do something nobody has heard of or solve something nobody's known, because that's really hard to educate a market to buy. Instead, what you want to be able to do is you want to find somewhere that is crowded, and then as a speaker, you're able to differentiate yourself from some of the other health professionals who are not speaking. Many health professionals are so busy with one-on-one client work that they don't even have time to process or think about speaking or leveraging other people's audiences. In fact, they're so busy and overwhelmed doing what's not working that they don't allow themselves the time, or they don't think that they have enough time to learn a strategy that will work for them, like leveraging other people's platforms or creating a premium group coaching program. Here's an example of Dr. Kendra Lee. She is a naturopathic doctor, and before working with us, she was struggling to keep her doors open in her business. We were talking to her. She attended the challenge just like you not that long ago. And when she was here, we talked to her in a consultation, and we were saying, like, so tell us about your business. How are things going? She's like, well, we had some sales at some point, and they dropped off. They trickle in. We don't know how to get consistent sales. And I shared what's going to happen if you don't figure out this marketing. And she said, we're going to have to close down my doors. And I don't want to do that, because this is my mission. This is my baby. This is my passion that I like to give to the world. And she's like, if I don't figure out how to get consistent clients, we won't be able to continue. And our heart goes out to her, because we know we have the market. We know we could help her. And so what she did is she decided to join our accelerator program. And we helped her to create a system for generating leads and sales automatically. We helped her to understand how to get qualified buyers, how to sell them when she's able to speak to them. And now she has more clients coming in. She was able to fill her programs with the people that she wanted to teach and share. And now she's been able to, she went from struggling to keep her own doors open to joining one of our challenges a couple months later. And she's like, now I'm able to provide a Christian education for my granddaughter. And that's really a special place to go from. What I noticed financially is if you're having a hard time to keep your doors open, and then it's much harder to contribute to others. That's why we talked about before how we want to have more than enough so we can provide for the needs and wants of others. In fact, now she's able to, she just opened up a new location. She's one of our clients who has a physical lifestyle center. And we also helped her to not only go from just her local island in Bermuda, but also having her first international clients, learning how to structure her business in a way that she can sustainably support international clients from Canada, from Australia, from America, from different places. And before, she was thinking, well, I can't go all over. I'm just kind of like, I got these people that in local, I'm just stuck on my island. And we're like, no, there's a way that you could do both. In business, a lot of times, it's not either this or that. Many times it's and also. And in fact, we helped her applying the principles we shared. She got featured in the Royal Gazette, and she was promoted and in her islands in some of the news articles of what she's been doing in her lifestyle center and her programs. And she's became a local authority in this kind of space. She's known as the juicing lady who's able to help people. From her speaking on other people's platforms, she's literally had people walking up to her doors and saying, I heard your message and I want to join your program. They already know her price, they already know her program, they know what she's about, and they're ready to join her program. And she doesn't have to try to sell them on the stuff. But as long as she follows the principles we share, she's able to enroll more people. And that's how she got some of her first male clients. And so how many of you want to become an authority in your space? In whatever the solutions that you desire to start solving as a speaker, when you're a health professional who speaks, you have a advantage. You have what I call a special advantage over health professionals who do not speak, because they're not able to tap into that one-to-many or that higher form of leverage. Second advantage is what I like to call a pricing advantage, because in a pricing advantage, one thing you'll find is that you will get better quality clients. That as a speaker, not only do you attract more affluent buyers, and when you're speaking on other podcasts, on average, podcast listeners tend to be those who are more affluent. They're more likely to be making six figures or more, because people who listen to podcasts are on their way commuting to work, and they tend to be people who value personal development and growth, and they're learning new things and always feeding their mind and improving themselves and educating themselves. So they tend to make more money. And you are also able, when you're speaking on other people's platforms, you can start commanding higher speaker fees, because with more experience, you have more expertise and people are more willing to pay you for that. And one thing you'll find is that an educated buyer is far better than a non-educated buyer. Someone who doesn't know your story, doesn't know your background, doesn't know anything about you, and they kind of know you exist or what you do, but they don't really know the depth of how you help people and what you actually help them do. Then the amount of, if you were to get on a call and just try to explain to someone who doesn't know you from Adam, they're going to come with a bunch of questions like, who are you? What makes you different than others? Why should I trust you? And can you actually help me? And they got all these questions. But instead of taking all those questions on like a sales call where you're trying to sell people, create content that's able to add value. Like what Frank Kern says, the best way for people to know if you can help them is by actually helping them. And when you're able to create this lighthouse content we talked about through speaking, then they listen to your messages, they hear your depth of knowledge, and you're able to answer a lot of these questions up front. You could help them to have answers to questions they didn't even know that they had. And then by the time they actually get on the call with you, you don't have to focus on trying to high pressure, sell them, close them, overcome their objections. You're just there to listen, and you're able to hear their heart and really understand their goals and if they truly are a right fit for you. But it's amazing the quality of people and the level of trust that you're able to develop with the prospects who have been able to listen to your messages, learn from you, and then when it's time to decide if they want to work with you, they're already educated, and it's so much easier to convert that interest into a paying client, a happy, satisfied client who has proper expectations and who can give raging reviews and great referrals because the expectation was set in advance. And that's what speakers, those who speak, have a pricing advantage over those who don't. How many of you who here wants to have a pricing advantage? Type pricing in the chat below if that sounds of interest to you. The next advantage that people get is what I like to call the expert advantage. The E in speaker stands for expert advantage, because one thing that is really fascinating about speaking is health professionals who speak, they are instantly perceived as being a credible, legitimate source of authority or knowledge on this topic. So let me ask you a question. Are you a speaker because you're an expert, or are you an expert because you speak? Well, I would say that it's a mixture of both. It's a little bit of both. And it is no secret that when you are on stage, the audience already starts to perceive that you are positioned in a place of authority, a place of speaking, a place of knowledge or of understanding. So the more stages that you have to be able to speak about your topic, the more you leverage other people's platforms, the easier it is for people to trust you. And what's cool is that you get to share your knowledge with other people. It builds a credibility and a connection with your audience that you wouldn't otherwise be able to have. So as a speaker, health professionals who speak, they are able to increase their credibility than health professionals who are not speaking. So how many of you would like to have an expert advantage? Type expert in the chat below if that's you. So that's the E in speaker. But what about A? A stands for what I like to call the audience advantage. What's cool about health educators who speak is that not only what we talked about is you don't have to start from scratch, you get to leverage other people's audiences, but another thing is that you're never selling to a cold audience. What's a cold audience? Complete strangers, people who don't know you, people who don't trust you, people who just discovered you. When you're speaking on other people's audiences, there's an event organizer that the audience trusts, or maybe there's a podcast host that the audience has been spending hours after hours and knows, likes, trusts. And what happens is when you are being interviewed or you're being brought to speak, you're being positioned as an authority, credible source of information. So the trust that host has spent years of their reputation and thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and their own team, and they've built infrastructure and systems and decades of building that rapport with their audience, they're now transferring that over to you when you're a guest on their show, which is actually mind-boggling when you think about it. This is why we were talking about in the VIP, if someone's in a third world country, how are we able to get more of your target audience or the premium audience? Part of it is by speaking to the premium audiences, you attract the premium buyers. It's by developing partnerships with those who already have the eyes and the ears of your ideal clients. And not only in that audience advantage, you're never selling to a cold audience. They're warm. They already like you. You're already ahead of the game. Whereas like Facebook ads, that's like cold marketing, and it takes a lot more skill, and it's a very different game than speaking to warm or hot leads. And then you're also tapping into the one-to-many selling because you have this audience advantage. Instead of like just one-on-one, purely starting from scratch with each person, as a health professional who's not speaking is forced to do, you're getting this one-to-many effect where you can now influence groups, you can communicate to crowds, you can convert confidently on camera and in your communication. So this is what I call the audience advantage. Now, who here wants to have an audience advantage? Type audience in the chat if you can see how speaking can help you with this. And this also includes creating content. So the K stands for a knowledge advantage. What do I mean by a knowledge advantage? The cool thing about speaking is that God doesn't give you this health knowledge so you could just keep it to yourself. He didn't help you to overcome a challenge. Like I've got a client, Miriam, who she had this intense facial pain, it's like feeling like there's lightning in her face, and it's really painful. And she told God, she said, Lord, if you help me to overcome this challenge, I will teach others how to do likewise. And God helped her to overcome that, and now she's helping others to learn how to do what she did. And the cool thing is, God doesn't just give you this knowledge. He doesn't give you this training or this interest, this passion for health without putting provisions or a plan or a path to help you to share that knowledge with other people. And as a speaker, I find it's not only one of the best ways to build your business, to generate new leads, to get in front of strangers, and to be able to sell from stage, so now help those leads become clients, but it's one of the best ways to impact people's lives with the knowledge that you have. It is so scalable. And also, speaking forces you to organize your thoughts. in order to speak, or like when we're helping our clients to craft a signature speech and we're going through structuring their ideas. Well, I mean, we even have like Regine, she got her master's in health education, and she went through our workshop and her mind was blown. Within 2 days of joining our accelerator, she said that I've got all the value that I was hoping to get within the first 2 days of the accelerator. And after going through our workshop, another one, she said that, look, I've got my master's in health education, but what you just explained in how to communicate our health knowledge in just these short few days is more practical, it's more relevant, it's more clear than a lot of the psychology and the stuff that we learned in school. And the thing is that what speaking does is it forces you to clarify your thoughts and express in ways that people can understand. Even if you've been a seasoned speaker, or if you're just getting started and you don't even know where to start, learning these principles can be game changer when you're a health professional who chooses to speak to audiences. You have a knowledge advantage. And in fact, one thing that I learned from Andy Stanley I thought was really powerful. I was listening to his leadership podcast, and he was saying that whoever can speak about a problem with the most clarity is seen as the leader who has the single solution to the problem. Even if your solution isn't the best, even if you don't even have the most experience, if you can express with clarity and conviction about the solution of a problem or what the problem is, people are willing to believe that you have their solution. They want to feel understood. And if you could describe their problem better than they know their problem, then people are willing to pay you. People are willing to pull out their wallets and pay for your health knowledge. And this is really powerful, because at the end of the day, people are not buying health products and programs, they're buying solutions to problems. And when you present your program as a solution to their health challenge, whether it's diabetes, or whether it's their weight loss, or whether it's their self-image, or whether it's their autoimmune disease, if you could present your solution, your program as a solution, they're willing to pay more and more. And that's what I call the knowledge advantage. Who wants to have a knowledge advantage where you can impact people's lives with your knowledge? Type knowledge in the chat below. And not only do you have a knowledge advantage, but you have what I like to call an efficient advantage. And this efficient advantage, this is what I mean. Speaking allows you to disconnect your income generation from your time. It allows you, when you're creating content that lives, like I've got videos that I posted 10 years ago that are still getting comments, that are still getting people to reach out to me and develop. I had a client who saw a video that I posted like 3 years ago, and he reached out to me, and he joined one of our programs that was he became a 5-figure client. And it was because of an interview that I did on someone else's podcast. And I'm not actively thinking about that or actively working on it or promoting it, but it lives there and it exists online out there somewhere. And he found it and he reached out to me. So this is the power of leverage, automation, and scale. And so speaking allows you to connect and convert and communicate even while you sleep. So you're able to change people's lives and lead people through this journey of becoming a client with you. And a lot of times we get into business, and we get into business because we want freedom. And we go from working a 40-hour job to then working in 80 hours in our business. We think we own a business, but the business owns us. And what we find is that when we're making $100,000 a year, we got 100,000 responsibilities. And when businesses are making $1 million a year, they got 1 million responsibilities. But not all businesses are created equally. When you're a health professional who is not speaking, then this is like, it drastically limits the capacity that you have to be able to serve people and help. And a lot of times it doesn't even have to be an either or. You can still work with people one-on-one and do the stuff you love, but it's just learning how to blend them, how to structure your business and your offer in a way that is scalable, and service people at the highest level. So what we want to do as health educators is we want to learn to disconnect your income generation from your time. Because any time that you are reliant on trading time for money, you have now limited your revenue generation to the most scarcest resource that you have. We only have 24 hours in a day. There's only so much that we can actually do in that time. So instead, we're going to take these bolt cutters and we're going to disconnect these. And how do you do that? Stop seeing yourself as, if you want to raise your prices, you need to give more hours of your time. Think of you are selling a result. You're not selling your time. And as employees who are learning how to become entrepreneurs, a lot of times they carry the same employee mindset to solve entrepreneur problems, and it doesn't translate very well. And they don't build a business of their dreams. They build a business of a nightmare, and one that they don't wake out of. And they wish that they could have a boss that could fire them so they don't have to fulfill the life that they just created for themselves. And our goal is not just to help you to make a business that makes you money, but to make a business that you enjoy, a business that you actually love showing up and serving people and helping others, because that's fulfilling. I believe, I heard a quote, I was listening to Marketing Train today and it just resonated. I'm like, yeah, the more fun we have in our business, the more money we'll make. Because if we're not enjoying ourselves, then we're not going to consistently do what's required to monetize that health knowledge. So it's about making decisions that you can enjoy, and partly disconnecting your income generation from your time and finding that there's ways you could do it. One way is to productize your service. If you're doing a service for people, take what you would be teaching people, whether it's a coaching service or whether it's a in-house service, or it's a lifestyle service, or if it's a cooking service, you take whatever the service is and you productize it through educational products. Maybe you turn it into a book, you turn it into a group coaching program, and you record those, you turn it into a course. There's ways you could productize your knowledge, and it takes the same amount of effort to sell to 10 people as it does to sell to 1,000 people. And so speaking is one of those things where it takes the same amount of effort to speak to 10 people as it does to speak to 1,000 people. How many of you want to have an efficient advantage? You realize that time is precious and time is shorter than you think, and there's an urgency to share your message or reach financial independence. And this is, I believe, health professionals who speak have an efficient advantage. That's the E. What about the R? The R stands for a real life advantage. Why real life advantage? Because we are living in a world that a lot of marketing is done digitally. It's a lot online. There's a lot of reels. There's a lot of content and emails that are not getting opened. And while everyone's being bombarded digitally, learning to speak at events in person, you create a real life experience with your clients. You get to create a shared experience with your clients that they wouldn't otherwise have. While everything else is distant and disconnected, you're creating an environment where people can find community, where people can belong, and they can have support beyond just you, beyond just all these digital and this AI influencers and AI like just slop that's out there. You're becoming a physical reminder in a digital world, which is great as a marketer, because one thing that we want to be for our client is we want to remain top of mind. I call it top of mind marketing, because it's like that you want your words, your advice, your principles, your stories to be so sticky. They're like a pebble in someone's shoe that every time they step, they think of you and what you said. And I can't tell you how many times people would reach out to me before they become a client, and they're saying, you know, something you said, it really resonates with me, and I totally think about it so often, and I'm ready. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I'm ready to change. And it's because of my speaking and the videos and the posts and the books. And by being able to speak, you're able to change people's lives, and you're making real life transformation. It's really rewarding when you get to realize the view that you're seeing. That's not just like some number on a spreadsheet, that's an actual soul. That's a person. That's someone with real life, real problems, and real desires and hopes and dreams and a family. And you're able to impact people's lives and make real transformation, which I think is beautiful. And I love talking to people face to face and interacting with people. But like, the ability to speak one to many and reach others from a platform is just one of the most rewarding things I've ever learned in my life. How many of you want to have a real life advantage? Type yes in the chat if you want to speak a message that has a real impact in 2026 and beyond. So if you're wanting to speak, I'm going to share with you, we're going to transition to what I like to call the number one habit of highly effective people. It's speakers, highly effective speakers. In fact, Stephen Covey, he wrote a book, a best-selling book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Great book. If you haven't read it, it's got good stuff. And he's teaching based on these biblical principles. And one thing he says, Stephen Covey says, that highly effective people begin with the end in mind. Enoch Leffingwell says highly effective speakers begin with the back end in mind. Now, what do I mean by the back end? A lot of times I'm talking to health professionals, and maybe they're speaking and they're doing workshops or they're sharing, and I say, okay, so tell me about your content. What are you selling on the back end of your content when you're speaking at an event or posting online? Just tell me about your business beyond your content. And they're like, well, I don't really have a business. I just have videos. Or I don't really have a business. I just have a book. Or I'm just speaking, but I'm not actually selling anything when I speak. And I'm like, whoa, well then let's start there. Because even before you share your message, what we like to do is we like to get very clear on the irresistible offer. There's no amount of more marketing that's going to fix a bad offer. So we want to craft an irresistible offer that people want to pay. And when you have that, then we want to speak in a way that the more that you share, the more they want to pay you. And that every time you open your mouth, you're educating them closer to a sale. So we're gonna talk about the back end. Is it okay if we talk about how to build your back end and how to present in a way that increases the back end for a little bit? I'm gonna share with you, as I promised, 12 ways to profit from a signature speech without charging speaker fees. We learned that there's different ways that people can speak. Here are 12 ways you can structure your business. And these are 12 ways that we help our clients to monetize their knowledge and from a signature speech. Are you guys ready to profit from a signature speech? Type yes in the chat if you're ready for this. This is what I like to call the wheel of wealth. And the wheel of wealth is simple. Think of your business like it's a wheel. If you want momentum, movement, you want forward progress, wheels help you to transport things, to make it easier, to take less effort and energy. That the invention of the wheel was so powerful. And we want to apply the wheel principle of leverage to your business. So think of your signature speech as the foundation. It's the hub. It's that marketing. It's a linchpin that holds your wheel together. When you have a well-crafted signature speech that sells your products and programs, that educates someone closer to a sale, that adds value and lets people know that you can actually help them, that a signature speech that allows you to create content that actually converts in a way that people continue wanting to share your content with others, and they're helping you to spread your message to more prospects. That signature speech is the foundation of your business. And think of spokes. There's opportunities that get created. Every time you solve a problem, you're creating follow-up problems for your clients that didn't exist before they hear your message. So an example is when someone hears you speaking about a solution, one of the first things that people want to know is, and you'll find that as you start speaking, people will ask you, can you coach? Do you provide coaching for others? I want to have some of your guidance. Can you help walk me through this process? Is what we talked about on day 2. is that Zig Ziglar mentioned, if I don't sell them, I cannot serve them, because from your signature speech, you can awaken their interest in to possibilities, but it's really going to be through like a coaching program, an audio program, or something that they will get these long-term transformation habits embedded so that their change can last beyond just the stage and your physical presence. So speaking will make people want to join your coaching program. In fact, I was having a conversation with Pedro Adeo. Each one of these awards are given when you make $1 million through your sales funnel, which is a website where you sell products and programs. And what's on his knee is an award given when you make $10 million through a single website, through an offer. So I had the opportunity to have a backstage pass with Funnel Hacking Live, and he was one of the speakers there. And we were talking about business, and he was mentioning that a speech increases the desire for the accountability that you provide through your coaching. It says when you're speaking, that makes people want to work with you at higher levels. And he was just showing how these different offers stack and how people want to ascend with you. And it was really powerful insight. So what you find is that speaking will make people want to coach. So then what we like to do is start with a coaching program, and that coaching program will allow you to add the most value to people at first, get really clear, and actually help someone through the process. And those coaching clients will give you more stuff to talk about, more reviews and more results and more experiences and stories. And then it also opens the door for consultation calls where people want to consult with you. They listen to your message and then they get on a consultation call. And when you follow the consultation call script that we teach our students, then you're able to actually have calls that will convert, that actually lead people to clients and answer the questions. And a lot of times, when health educators, before they start working with us, I ask them, like, take me through your process for your consultations. They're saying, yeah, we do those. We do the health consultations, but people don't buy. Maybe they buy a couple supplements. It's like $5 profits, but they're not buying. And part of the reason is because for those 50, 45, 60 minutes, they're doing a whole lot of work. They get doing like tests, analysis, they go send them out somewhere, pay for that, and then get these results, only to find out they don't buy. And they're pouring in all this information, all these things that they need to do, and it stresses people out. Again, it's like when you try to give your audience on a consultation call everything you know in 60 minutes without selling them, it's like a fire hose to the face, and it's stressful. In fact, so what we like to do is give a script that actually supports people in making that informed buying decision. So Dr. Razia is an example. She was struggling to get one-on-one coaching clients for $400. And what we did is we helped her to create an automated system for getting consultation calls and taught her exactly what to say over the phone. And we helped her to craft an irresistible offer and a signature speech. And she got her first $3,000 client within her first 10 days of joining our program, having no prior business experience before. And following the system, you could see that like this is what's possible. And so how many of you would like to get paid a premium price for your health advice? Type paid in the chat if you want a profitable program. So if you look at this wheel of wealth, your signature speech helps you to not only book consultation calls, but it could also turn it into a book that can scale your impact. Usually, I recommend for health educators, don't start with a book. Start a book after you start with a coaching program that will allow you to, even with little skills in marketing, you could still make a profitable business. You have higher margins you could serve more people. And get better results generally with a group coaching program. Get your consultation calls in a way where people are able to buy and sign up consistently. And once you have a consistent proven offer that you know that actually converts, then you want to scale it with a book. You nail it first and then you scale it. And a book can be really powerful for that. Here's an example of Kaylin Poland. This is how a newbie female health coach, starting out with zero tech experience, no product, she launched her business and changed the lives of over 1.3 million women in less than 3 years with her weight loss company. And the thing about this, she is helping people in weight loss, which is weight loss a new, is that a new market, or is that a very saturated market? That's very saturated, right? And it wasn't too many years ago that she got started helping women to lose weight. And she started with the signature speech using similar principles that we teach our students, similar structure. In fact, I've listened to her presentations, studied them, and they follow the similar structure that we do as well. She shared her signature speech on live events, automated webinars, seminars, and then she took that signature speech and she turned it into a health book. She wrote a book called Big Fat Lies, uncovering the lies that the weight loss industry tells women that stops them from being able to lose weight. Following similar principles, we help our students to become best-selling authors. She became best-selling in different areas, and she shared the same message. She refined it over a period of time. And what we find is that you don't have to change your message, you change the audience. So the message feels new to them, and you're able to scale your impact. This is what happened with Hollis and Shantoya. He was teaching for over 12 years, and we helped them to raise their price. And then he immediately sold more than he ever had at the next following events. And before, when they were listening to this talk that we were going through, his wife came to me and she's like, I have a book, but it's kind of sitting on the shelf. And when she's learning about this wheel of wealth, how everything integrates with each other, she's like, it's not really getting us sales. We're not really selling the book, and there's not more sales coming from the book. So she's just like, I don't really know how to put this connected. Do I have to go create an entirely new book? And I shared with her, no, a lot of times it's just the small tweaks that lead to the biggest peaks. We can audit your book and see what could be changed and modified to use what you have and optimize your book so they can actually bring in higher paying clients. And so what we did is we helped her to republish her book, and she got to #1 best-selling in her categories, helping professional women over 40 to lose weight with detoxing, and then she was able to get to bestseller. Now she's a best-selling author, which is really powerful. How many of you would like to get paid for readers to learn your signature speech in a book? How many of you would like to be able to have an infinitely scalable business where it takes the same amount of effort to sell 10 books as it does to sell 10 million books? You can type book in the chat below. This is a really powerful way for health educators to scale when they're ready for it. And granted, I would recommend publishing a book once you have an offer that converts. People do it in a different order, and it can get fuzzy. So in this Wheel of Wealth, signature speech can be turned into a book. Not only that, those who listen to your speech will also, some of them want a do-it-yourself course. They want on-demand training. They want to be able to go at their own pace. So by being able, what I usually recommend is, as you coach your initial clients through a result, record. That's why it's best in a group setting. And in that group coaching program, you record it, you let them know in front, like, this will be recorded and it will be a course. So while we're going through this together, then people join, and then congratulations, now you have an on-demand course. Now you have another product that you could provide at another tier after you've been able to help your initial clients to get their first payments. And could you also dismiss the notice on the bottom right corner? Can't see the chat very well. Thank you. So by publishing a course, your signature speech will appeal to some want coaching and some will want course, and that opens the doors for more. In fact, that's what Kaylin Pullen did with her weight loss. She turned her signature speech into courses. She repeated and enlarged on some of those topics that she covers. She even did online challenges like this. She's got a 5-day weight loss challenge. Then she's got a 30-day slim down challenge. And she published ebooks, and those ebooks sold. And guess how much money she made with digital products and these information products in her business? She made over $25 million in additional revenue simply because she took her health knowledge and packaged it into digital products. So how many of you would like to share your health message digitally? I mean, she did this in her 20s. And having no business experience before that, she's following the same principles that we're teaching our students. This is in a market that was already crowded and oversaturated by industry giants in the weight loss, and she was able to help people with that. So the signature speech helps you to build out a course, and also it can provide the desire for physical products, because let's say you're teaching someone to lose weight, for example. There are other follow-up problems that creates, like what am I going to get for nutrition? Where do I get protein, or how do I, what are maybe some vitamins or supplements that you would recommend? That's where if you are a health educator who has supplements or salves that you want to sell, speaking is providing educational content can drastically increase your sales. And also, if you have fitness equipment, or maybe if you're teaching cooking or nutrition, then there's kitchen equipment. You could be an affiliate for companies like Vitamix or juicing companies. In fact, there's one man, he was a lawyer who got diagnosed for sickness. He wasn't even like healed. He just decided to document his journey, and he went on a 60-day juice fast, drinking plants, and he documented his journey of losing weight and feeling better. And he published a best-selling documentary called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. Maybe you've heard about it, Joe Cross. And he partnered with a company, because I want you to think about this. His documentary became a signature speech, essentially. And that's his infinite sales message. That documentary increased people's desire to start juicing. And those who want to juice, what do they need in order to start juicing? I remember watching that probably in like 2014, and I immediately went and started juicing my first thing, and it was terrible. I had no idea what I was doing. I'm like, this is gross. But I needed a juicer. So what he does is he partnered with a company that sells juicers, and he gets a commission out of everyone who clicks his link. And he doesn't have to produce them, to manufacture it, handle customer support. He doesn't have to ship it and handle it and store it in warehouses. He doesn't need to do any of that. In fact, we're living in an age where you can white label other people's products, meaning you can put your logo and brand on their supplements or stores. You could partner with a company that's existing, and they'll ship and give you commissions. He made millions of dollars in affiliate sales just recommending juicers to people on the back end of his program. And Kaylin Pullen figured out how to put together equipment for people. She also provided swag and merch. If we could put my slide back on the slide. She provided clothing that has like Lady Boss kind of swag or clothing or quotables or things. And what we're doing is we're launching our software company, and all of our clients are getting Contact Keeper, which will allow people to sell physical products, sell digital products, even create your own course in your community, and to be able to provide people these coaching experiences, to provide the consultation calls in our Contact Keeper software. This is truly an all-in-one platform. It already exists. We have some of our clients are running their business on it. And these are things that you're able to do. Now, let me ask you, what Kaylin Pullen was able to do, let's leave this on the slide, in selling physical products, how much money do you think that she was able to make as this spoke of her business? Kaylin Pullen made over $150 million. Now, question, if Kaylin was able to make $150 million from selling physical products, how much money do you think you could make in monetizing your health knowledge online? Let me know in the chat what you think is possible for you, because we are living in a day and age where it has never been easier to monetize your knowledge. It's never been easier to build a business. You've never had so many resources. One of the reasons why I invested in the software company is because I wanted to make it so simple and such a no-brainer, easy for health educators. They don't have to go get this $300 subscription or that $20, $50, $99 a month. You could eliminate so many subscriptions in your business with our Contact Keeper, and you get it for free for joining our program. And we'll teach you how to maximize, how to get the most out of it, how to build this wheel of wealth that we're talking about. And in this wheel of wealth, you're building a business that lasts. I hope that you're able to see the back ends of your business and your knowledge. And a lot of times it doesn't have to be one or the other. It's by learning how to do them. You can do them all. You can have it all. You can have your cake and eat it too. But it's by knowing the sequence. If you try to start off doing them all at once, it's going to be exhausting and you're not going to be profitable. So knowing what order to do them makes a very big difference. And so the last thing that in this wheel of wealth is content. When you have content, what we talked about is you create lighthouse content for your ideal clients who are lost at sea. They're tossed to and fro. You let your light shine. And what happens is when you create your signature speech, congratulations, you now have your content strategy for the next year. You take that one long form message, instead of creating a whole bunch of fractured content that just is scattered and goes nowhere, you're able to craft one infinite sales message you can deliver 3,000 times without losing its power of persuasion. And then you could cut and clip, and you can take segments of your signature speech and turn those into interviews, turn those into to short videos or long form videos or YouTube videos, and you're able to practice and test and refine your message and see what works best, see what resonates, see what converts. And from that insight, you're able to improve your signature speech. So it's all one connected system. And this is exactly what Kaylin did too. She had her social media had reached over 1 billion people in her views. She got featured on YouTube and the local news and other people's platforms. And she took those messages and reached the women whose lives that she could transform. So if you're looking at this wheel of wealth, what this really looks like is essentially, I had a business coach, Myron Golden, he was telling me, he's like, Enoch, don't just stand there, sell something. But don't just sell something that sells something. And Dan and Derek's, another business coach of mine, he was mentioning, like, instead of, if you want to sell, let's say coaching, don't just sell the coaching, sell the thing that sells a thing. So in other words, what this looks like, any health program that you want to sell, don't sell your health program directly on social media or when you're talking to people. You want to sell your signature speech, and then your signature speech can sell your coaching program. And from listening to your signature speech, you're pre-qualifying and preparing people to be able to say, I want more, I want to extend this. And then your coaching, your signature speech is able to open consultation calls. And those consultation calls, you're able to prescribe your coaching program if it's a good fit. Your signature speech turns into a book, and then your book is able to book more consultation calls, and those calls book more coaching clients. Your book will also get you more speaking gigs, especially we have ways that help you to book speaking appointments from your book. And your coaching program will allow you to create courses, and those courses will increase the desire for the accountability you provide in your coaching. And those courses will also be able to sell more of your book. Your book is able to sell people in course because they read it and they're like, I love it. Now they want the implementation guides. They want the video. People will pay more money for the same framework packaged in a different way. Like literally the same person will pay for each one of these. And this becomes like your client journey, and we're mapping this out together. In your course, you can prescribe the supplements you recommend or the equipment you recommend, provide affiliate links for them to go to other places. I know for me, there's a lot of there are a lot of tools that our business have used, and I didn't really feel the best about selling a coaching program and then go recommend for people to go buy and subscribe and sign up to all these monthly subscriptions, like what our business has paid thousands of dollars for. But now through Content Keeper, we don't have to go send people elsewhere to all these places. You can have your marketing all in one to help you to do this, where you're actually creating the automations, the upsells, you're creating the ability to communicate to people and let them know how each one of these are connected. And Then you have your content that is being posted, and your content sending people to your book, your content sending people to your consultation calls, and your content is just a mini version. Each one is just a miniature version of your signature speech. And what happens is you have this wheel of wealth that starts picking up momentum. It becomes like the snowball effect, where it starts small and it builds more, where each one is sending more paying clients to your business from different sources and directions. And you start picking up so much momentum that you can't slow it down, and you wonder why anyone would want to. And it's like, can you start to see the business? Can you see the vision for your business? Type yes in the chat if you're starting to see this. And in fact, some of you, while you've been going through this challenge, you have seen a momentum in clarity, in direction, in action. You've been able to get insights that you haven't had elsewhere other times. And this momentum you're getting in your business has been so good that you don't want this momentum to stop. And is it okay if I share with you a few moments of a special offer that I put together to help you to maintain your momentum after this challenge? We're on day 4 out of 5, and we're almost at the end. And I know some of you are like, this is so good, I don't want this to stop. I would love to extend this learning environment. Type offer in the chat if you're okay if I take a few moments to share with you what it could look like to work with us, or the special program we put together to simplify the process for you. Yes? All right, cool. Now, who's excited to change the world with your health message? I know, like, at this point, you're just like, the world needs to know. And I believe that. I'm excited for you to share your message to the world, because my life was literally saved and improved because of health educators like you who learned the marketing to get their message out. So what we have put together is we have the same offer, but there's 2 levels of support. There's 2 paths, if you will, that people can work with us beyond our challenge. On one side, we have our Skills Unlimited program. This is very much like a do-it-yourself. It's kind of like a Netflix of courses that you have access to, and we are able to guide you through this process. And then it just study as you go. And the other is our Business Accelerator program. This is where we provide done with you coaching, done with you strategies, and many of them are done for you. There's a lot of templates, there's a lot of thinking, there's a lot of decisions that we will actually just say, hey, if we were building your business, this is what we would do. So it's one offer, 2 levels of support, and you get to pick your path of what makes the most sense for you. So in our Skills Unlimited program, the reason why we called it Skills Unlimited is because there are a handful of high-income skills that can each help you to earn potentially unlimited income and unlimited impact. Here's at least 6 high-income skills that can pay $10,000 per month. And these are some of the skills that helped me to make $10,000 a month in my early 20s. Number 1 is selling. Selling is infinite, is unlimited impact, is unlimited income that you can do. If you watch the VIP bonus, you can see that this is one of the higher classes of impact for the higher class of income. And copywriting is also extremely valuable, where copywriting is persuasive words that sell. It's the written word, whether the words you put on a website or on a social media post or a blog article or wherever you're writing your emails or your text messages you're sending out. All of that is copywriting. How do you create content that converts? And then also public speaking. We already showed how public speaking is one of the highest paid professions in the marketplace. And so these are the high income skills that we teach in Skills Unlimited. Digital marketing is powerful because it's connected with how do you use the internet and these audiences that already exist. How do you get your message to the masses, to the people that you're called to reach, and to the high-paying clients? Digital marketing will help you to do that. And AI automation. We're living in an age where AI has never been more integrated in society and learning how to increase your productivity as before. And sometimes being able to automate your follow-up, automate your purchases so that you could disconnect your income generation from your time. So there's a lot of businesses that they're doing a lot of things manually. And because if they don't actively do it, it won't get done. That's one of the first things that we want to fix, is we want to help set up assets, systems to help your business to operate, whether you're actively involved or not. It's not being dependent on your time. It's having systems to work. And then also coaching. Coaching is a high income skill that can pay your bills. And people will gladly pay 5 figures, and you can make $10,000 a month by learning coaching and selling a premium mentorship program. So Skills Unlimited is kind of like Netflix, but for health marketing. So instead of filling your mind with trash on Netflix, you can fill your mind with cash. The skills that help you to learn how to craft offers, automate your business, create your signature speech, get booked on speaking engagements, to publish best-selling books, get paying clients. Like, we cover what you would need to be able to monetize your health knowledge. And we've been doing this for a while, helping clients one after another to launch, start, or scale their health business to next levels. If you're making your first $10,000 or you're stuck at $10,000 a month and you want to get to the next level, what our program is designed is to help you to do that. In fact, who is our program for? Our program is for you if you are a health enthusiast and you love learning about health and you want to know how you can monetize your knowledge online. If you already have a health method or a program developed, or you want to develop a program, a framework that you could monetize, we will help you to create a profitable program. Our program is a place that people go to when they've tried so many different things to create a program, but it's still not profitable. And if you want to learn how to structure and position in a way that people will pay, then that's what we do in our program. And if you are a health consultant or a coach, or you desire to break through to get consistent clients, we will show you how to do that in our program. And if you're a health speaker, or you want to, maybe you've been teaching for years, but you're realizing the difference between speaking to teach and speaking to sell, and you want to learn how to sell from stage one to many, then this training will help you with that. We also have training how to get booked and paid to speak on other people's platforms. If you're a health practitioner that you want to grow your health practice, or a lifestyle center, or if you've got a local community that you want to scale and you want help with that, like Dr. Kendra Lee does and others we've worked with, then this will help you with that. If you're a medical missionary, if you're on a mission to change people's lives, then this program is for you. Or really anyone who has a health message that you want to impact people's lives and monetize and sustain, then that's what we created our Business Accelerator program for. So what you're going to get when you join is you're going to get the Skills Unlimited program, which that is a $2,000 value. Our clients, they pay us, that's $2,000 a year, just like Netflix. It's a subscription. And as you subscribe, you've got access to the coaching, the training, the on-demand equipment to help you get started. But I didn't just want to give you Skills Unlimited. When we're putting this together, our team is asking, how can I make your life easier? All throughout the week, we're thinking, how can we simplify this process for you to help you to get faster, easier, more effective? We're trying to always optimize and see ways we can improve your life. So not only are there these high income skills, we recognize it could take a learning process, and there's a learning curve for this. So we want to take the edge off your learning curve. If you've ever found marketing material hard to write or to create copy that converts, don't worry. You can actually enjoy marketing by knowing there's an agent for that. In fact, what we've done is just like, remember how when the iPhone came out and Steve Jobs was like, there's an app for that. There's an app for that. You want to listen to music? We got an app for that. You want to calculate? We got an app for that. Well, we have AI agents that are specially trained, which we see the future of AI is agentic, meaning that the value of AI is not in all this general ChatGPT stuff. It's in specialized agents who are trained to do a very specific thing. So we've got selling agents that are there to help you to monetize your knowledge. We have copywriting agents that will help you to write copy that converts, to create content that sounds like you, that can clone your voice, that can express your message in a way that's authentic to you, but also is persuasive. We have public speaking agents that will help you to book speaking engagements, write your signature speech, get clarity on parts that you get stuck on. We've got digital marketing agents that will help you with the marketing, with the email, with automations. We also have automation agents that will help you to create these powerful workflows without needing a technical degree or a technical background. We've got agents that will simplify the process, that we literally have grandmas going through the program learning how to set these things up and simplifying the process. We've got AI coaches that will help you. In fact, Tiffany, she was one of the first people who joined Skills Unlimited, and she's a homeschooling mother. She's a teacher, author. She's an ADHD coach, and she was just sharing with me that one of her biggest challenges is knowing how to create content that converts, because she posts content, she'll publish podcasts, but they're just not creating clients. And she wanted to know, how do I create content that could attract clients? And what we did is we got her access to Skills Unlimited. She bought it for the subscription, and she said she planned out her entire content calendar for the week in minutes. Literally within minutes of joining, she had her content calendar mapped out, because we've got agents for that. And then we followed up with her, and as we spoke to her about a month or two in, she was able to finally craft a profitable program. She was able to get her first clients. She was able to get more consistent clients. And she was saying, I'm so glad that I joined the program. Thank you for your mentorship. Sherry's another person who got access to our Skills Unlimited AI Studio, and she was able to build her entire presentation for fibromyalgia coaching in one session. She was blown away by how much more simple and useful it is for putting these things together. So not only are you going to get the Skills Unlimited program, which is the education, you're also going to get the AI Studio, which that's easily a $4,000, $5,000 value, because if you were to go outsource these marketing copywriting, they will charge $500 an hour, $5,000 per project. And for a good copywriter, someone who actually knows what they're doing, they'll likely charge more than $5,000 just per project or per sales page. That's not even including all the projects you want to do throughout the year. So you're going to get not AI Studio for once, but you're going to get it for the entire year. Unlimited generations for all of your projects on whatever you're working on to simplify the process for you. So total value we're looking at is $5,994. And this isn't how much we're going to charge for it, but I'm helping you to understand, if you were to go elsewhere to go invest in these things, these aren't even like made up numbers. I'll show you actually people charging what they charge for these things, but I just want to stack the value for you to help you to simplify the process, to make it so I just want to address all the challenges that you would face or any reason why you wouldn't be able to succeed. And I want to make sure that we've got all of that covered for you. So I ask, what else do you need? You've got the education, you've got the AI agents, where most courses, they're going to give you like they'll teach you, and then they'll give you a big worksheet that you have to go figure out and decide and choose what you're going to do. We're not doing that. We're instead of worksheets, we're giving you agents that will think with you and think for you and will help based on my marketing knowledge and training and frameworks, especially for health educators, will take the lesson you learned and apply it to your business. And the more that you use it, the more that it understands what you're about. And but we were thinking, well, what else do you need? Agents are great, but what about live coaching for when you get stuck? If at any time you have challenges as you're going through the training, we have you're going to get access to our VIP sessions. Once a month we go live, and we have 4 VIP coaching sessions per month for the Skills Unlimited. We also provide Tuesday at 9. Well, we have coaching for you to get your questions answered and training to walk you through. We'll select issues that you're facing and help you one by one as we go through it. We've opened up actually more ways to provide support, but like just to let you know, support is not the challenge. We're here to guide you, to take you by the hand and lead you to the financial promised land. We are committed to helping you to be able to succeed, to get to the finish line. And here's an example of Dr. Doreen. She had joined our challenge. She decided to join our program, and we helped her to publish a best-selling book. She's a herbalist. She is a naturopathic doctor and a chef. So we helped her to publish a cookbook, and she said, I'm an author now. Thank you, Enoch. I appreciate your time, your expertise. I couldn't have done it without you and your team guiding me through this. I truly believe it was God's divine purpose. Now, how many of you are starting to see God's purpose, his plans unfolding before your eyes? As you've been going through this challenge, we've been dealing with things that you've been praying for. God has been answering, giving you clarity on things and possibilities. And this is what Dr. Doreen saw. She's like, this has been an answer to my prayers. And we find a lot of our clients will say that. One of the reasons we have so many referrals for our business is because we got lots of satisfied, happy clients that love what they've experienced and they want to tell others about it. So you not only get the AI Studio, but you're going to get not just a ticket for you, but for guests. You'll get 2 VIP tickets to the High Income Health Expert Challenge that you can invite other people to attend. And if you want, anyone that you invite to attend our challenge, we're happy. And if they decide to become a client, then we're happy to give a finder's fee to anyone who enrolls or joins. So some people have actually got their entire tuition paid just on the referrals that they sent to us. And that's okay too. So if you were to buy 2 tickets a month, that would be $2,328 for those tickets. But you're going to get that for free when you join Skills Unlimited program or the Business Accelerator. And the total value is $8,322. That's what we're looking at. But I didn't want to stop there. I was thinking, well, what else could we give you that would ensure your success? How can we make this so simple for you that there's no hindrance? And I realized that one of the biggest problems that health educators face, I mentioned, is that they don't know how to craft an offer. What do people actually pay for? Because marketing to the affluent, to wealthy premium buyers, is very different than marketing to people who are always looking for discount shoppers and are trying to buy the cheapest free stuff. So learning how to craft irresistible offer, we put together Offer Creation Secrets. This is our premium training for crafting, conveying, and converting high converting offers. This is the exact videos that we've gone through helping people like Dr. Kendra Lee or Razia or some of our clients to be able to raise their price and sell consistently. These are the trainings that we've walked you through that our clients have paid us $10,000 to get access to, but you are going to get this for free when you join either the Skills Unlimited or the Accelerator path. Remember, it's the same offer, just 2 levels of support. And the accelerators, of course, get more support. So the Russell Brunson, he again, I mentioned he was a mentor of mine. And one thing that he shared on one of our coaching calls was he was talking to someone. He said, look, if 1,000 new clients decided to join your program, could you handle it? If you're not prepared to receive, if you're at a place where your business is structured in a way that you couldn't take 10 more, 13, 15, 50 more people today, then that's a problem. That's really going to hinder your ability to serve people. And that's one thing that we want to make sure you craft an offer so that it is scalable, that you have an infinitely scalable business model. And what he says is you want to structure your offer in a way that you could be prepared to receive 1,000 new clients if they decided to join. How many of you would like to be prepared to be able to service, to have satisfied clients, that if 1,000 new clients joined in a day, that you would be prepared for them and they would be happy and satisfied and you can get them results? Type yes in the chat below, because that was something that Melanie had mentioned. And I hear this often from different health speakers. And we share with them often exactly how to structure it. If you think that this can't be done for you, I assure you, there is someone in the marketplace right now, and we can help you to find them, who is solving the problem you want to serve in a one-to-many fashion, in a group setting, that they're scaling the very message and solution that you want to, in a way that is changing lives and serving others. Melanie was one of the people who shared that she's like, well, I can't teach what I do in a group. People aren't going to do that. They're not going to pay for that. And she's like, I'm teaching vocal wellness. I'm sharing with people who I'm like dealing with the traumas of their voice, and And this isn't something that people would share. And I said, of course you can. Just look at Roger Love. Roger Love is a world-renowned voice coach, and he also is sharing with people. I learned of him while he was speaking at an event about the power of the voice, and he would do these one-on-ones with people, and he says, who here hates their voice? And they raise their hand. And he shows them how to use his voice as an instrument to change the thing that they hate the most about their voice so they could love it again. And I've attended his events where he charges $1,000 per event. We had our whole team go for 2 years, and we learned so much from it. My team was benefited through that group, one-to-many group coaching experience. And he has group coaching programs people pay him $12,000 for. He has subscriptions people pay $100 a month for. And then it's like when I shared that, it just clicked. Things made sense for her. And so what we did is she joined our accelerator program. We crafted her $15,000 offer. She got her first yes. And now she travels the world using the story selling secrets that she learned in our speaker training, going to Bali, to Dominican Republic, to South by Southwest. She's just sharing her message from stages. And I had a conversation with someone who was feeling like they can't. It's almost every person who comes feels that what they do cannot be taught in a group. And each of those people, we show businesses who have been successfully able to teach in a group. So I assure you, if there's something you think you can't, I will show you someone who is. And a lot of times there are people who know less than you do, who are monetizing, making more, and they're still impacting people's lives, because they're not allowing the limitations to hold them back, or making excuses saying, well, they can do that because they're teaching about weight loss, or they can do that because they're teaching about this. But the reality is, if you're sharing with people in their health, there's ways that we can structure it so there could be hybrids to help break people through. So we're going to provide you offer creation secrets. And let's just be honest. If I'm going to teach you how to create an offer that you can consistently sell for at least $3,000 per person, then would you say that it's at least a $3,000 value for a program like this? So I think on the low end, you could say that the total value we're looking at now is $10,319. And in fact, what Dr. Kendra Lee shared on one of our interviews, which we have our interview on YouTube, you can listen to it, but she said, I never once questioned why did I spend that $10,000 on Enoch's program? Looking back at everything that you've helped me with, I see that was $10,000 well spent. Because if you think not just like an expense, but you look at it as an investment, because business mentorship is not an expense, it's an investment. Business mentorship becomes an expense when you fail to invest in it. If you do not invest in mentors, that's one of the most expensive mistakes that I made in my life. I had 15 failed business attempts, and I tried 15 different businesses, and none of them really worked until that 16th became a multiple six-figure family business. And when I look back at the one differentiator between all the other ones, is on the 16th, I finally invested in a business mentor. And once I got the mentorship, I got a path. I got a proven path and a system I could follow, and things started to make sense. That didn't happen before. So that's why we are always looking for not just what to do, but we're always looking at, okay, what else do you need? What are other problems that we can solve? We want to make this as simple for you to be able to say yes to as possible in a way that you could really walk you through the process. So if you have a offer, let's say you have a program, it's $3,000, it's an irresistible offer, people are ready to pay for, what's the next step that you would need? You would need the signature speech secrets. You need to know, how do I actually take that offer and turn it into a sales message so that I could sell from stage, communicate with the crowds, and help people to even know that you exist, educate them closer to a sale. So we're going to walk you through crafting your signature speech and helping you to learn the principles that will sell consistently. So whenever you open your mouth, people are excited and desire to want to work with you. So that's signature speech, which our clients have paid us $10,000 to get access to, but you're going to get that in Skills Unlimited and in the Accelerator. We'll actually work with you to build out your signature speech. And we will, in a lot of ways, we'll share with you a story. In fact, we have one person we're working with. She's helping people reverse type 2 diabetes with by reducing inflammation with an anti-inflammatory diet. And we helped her with Skills Unlimited AI. We helped her to find this metaphor that inflammation is like fire in your body. And just as there's house fires, you want to have a professional firefighter who knows how to deal with the different types of fires, that you don't want to just put it out yourself, because if you got a grease fire and you pour water on it, it can make it all worse and you could lose everything in your house. But how much more than losing your house is losing your body? This is the one house that you get to keep and live in for the rest of your life. And it's very important to get the help to be able to put out the fire that's burning you from the inside out. When you eliminate the inflammation, you eliminate the source of the diabetes and insulin resistance. So she got that message, she applied our principles, went and shared on, she got a speaking engagement to present at a fire department with a bunch of firefighters, and she's sharing these metaphors that we were teaching her using these principles. And on her first talk, sharing her signature speech, she got 3 new clients to say that they're ready to sign up with her on that program. So, I mean, this is a power that even people who don't have prior experience go through our speaker training, that when they start selling, it starts converting. So we're looking at a total value of $20,000, because, I mean, if you think about when you're able to give a presentation, and let's say there's 100 people in the room, and even if your conversions are low, and let's say you get 10 people who say yes to your program, 10 new clients at $3,000, that's a $30,000 speech. You can speak for free at some of these events, and you will close more sales to the right audience in the back of the room, and that will largely pay for itself right there. So you could see why people are joining the program and having amazing results, because they're learning the system, the skills that pay the bills. But we didn't want to stop there. We were thinking, all right, what else do you need? Now you've got a signature speech. What's next? The next problem you're probably going to face is platform promotion secrets. Now you want to know, how do I get booked and paid to speak so I can find those audiences of 100 or maybe 1,000 or more? And how do you find those platforms that other people's audiences? So what we do is we talk about these 8 profitable platforms that you could share your health message on, and it actually spells the word platform. And we go into more detail in our program, but some of these include podcasts, live videos, articles. You could guest post on other people's articles. You can turn your book into blog articles. There's TED Talks. There's free events that we've been speaking about. There's online webinars that you could automate your signature speech to sell while you sleep. There's retreats. There's workshops like what Melanie is doing. There's members areas and masterminds. There's premium courses that you could put your signature speech in. In fact, we just finished up a partnership with IIOM that trains naturopathic doctors, which if you want to become a naturopathic doctor, it's a great school to be able to do that. And we're providing the marketing training to help their students who are going through their PhD program to be able to get their message out and using our marketing frameworks. And so what you're going to get with Platform Promotion Secrets, that's a $997 value. And so total value we're looking at is $21,316. But we want to know, what else can we give you to guarantee your results? We want to make it so simple for you. And just how can we provide you with whatever you need in the right order so that you can get the results you're looking for. And we're going to provide phone selling secrets, because when you start speaking on other people's platforms, you're going to see an increase of people reaching out, like Dr. Kadesha, who gave her first speech. She had 11 people show up in this small fire department that were very interested, and they want to book consultation calls. They want to speak with her. And now we give you the exact script of what to say so that people are happy to pay. And we'll clarify that, and we go through this process. This is the same training that Dr. Kendra Lee went through, where she was able to sign up 3 clients on one call in her new offer. This is how Rajane was able to have her first $6,000 day, is by learning how to sell premium health programs over the phone. It's a very valuable skill set to have. So you can get phone selling secrets that our clients literally paid us $10,000 to get access to. That's going to be a free bonus to anyone who joins now. And so the total value we're looking at is $31,316. And that's conservative. But what else could we give you? We don't want to just drop you there. We also realize that a lot of success is about community. And that's why we're going to provide the community of health educators. When you're joining our accelerator or any of our programs, you're not just joining a program, you're joining a family. These are health educators who are on the similar journey that you are. This is an environment of people that you can ask questions, you can help answer questions, you can learn from each other, see different examples. You'll get access to real businesses that are following these marketing principles of what's working now. It's like a community that helps you to learn and stay up to date of what's actually working in the marketplace. And this is a place of abundance, of service, of being able to help each other out. And right now, we're actually building our community on Content Keeper, and we are going to, this is a community that people will be able to support and encourage, get questions answered, learn from some of the other students, and be able to network. And some of your best strategic partners will come from the community of the people that you engage with. So it's really fun to find the supportive, like find your tribe, find your family. This is the people that are there with you on the journey, because I find that in business, we want to put ourselves in environments that normalize the achievements we desire to reach. And that's one of the ways that you can do that. So just a recap again of what is going on. It's the same offer, same goal, plan, path. Our objective is to help you to get to 6 figures in your health education business. And there's 2 paths to get there. Skills Unlimited is very much a do-it-yourself. You get access to the trainings. It's like a Netflix for health marketing. You get monthly live coaching. You get community access, get questions answers. You get VIP challenge tickets to support you whenever you're stuck, and you can invite other people too. As a business accelerator, as an accelerator student, this is our done with you and done for you tier. You get everything included in Skills Unlimited, but you also get weekly live coaching where you can ask me anything. Also, you'll get Voxer access to me where my phone doesn't make any sounds. There's no notifications at all. No phone calls, no texts, no social media, no dings, rings, and bings, none of that. It does not make sounds except for Voxer. Voxer is the one thing that I listen to and I pay attention to, that if someone has a request and they're trying to reach out for our accelerator students, give you priority access to get your questions answered the fastest out of anything else. So you not only get access to me, you get access to my team of strategists who've been with our business building. They have specialized knowledge. There's some things that my team does that they are better at that than even I am. And they are the brains and the success behind some of the stuff we're doing. So you get access to ask them, and you have support calls with them to help with copywriting, with booking speaking engagements, for crafting irresistible offers, for different things in between. And we're here to support you. So we're not just here to take your money and leave. We're here to be able to link arms and to march together onward to victory and into the next level of our business. So you also get implementation workshops, which our clients have said have been some of the best parts of the whole program is the implementation workshops, because these, in most seminars, most events and courses, you leave with a big to-do list. With these workshops, you leave with a big done list. You leave with actual assets, income producing assets that you're able to build and use and reference for years to come. And that's why our clients love it so much, because we actually build it with you and for you, and we actually walk you step by step, and there's a lot of value for that. So if you're ready to take your business to the next level, I encourage you to reach out to me on Messenger. Text the word accelerator to the number on the screen, 424-243-6624, or visit the website www.mentormeenoch.com. If you go to mentormeenoch.com, make sure you have the www, then you can book a consultation call. We can discuss what it could look like to work together. If you have any interest at all, if you have any desire to possibly explore this together, just go to mentormeenoch.com. We'd be happy to work with you. And really, if all Skills Unlimited did for you was help you to finally create content that converts, would it be worth it? If you're able to finally create a program that people are willing to pay you consistently, that you're able to stabilize your income or reach financial independence and learn the skills that can actually pay your bills, would it be worth the price of admission? If all Skills Unlimited did for you was help you to establish yourself as a health expert in your chosen fields, would it be worth it? Wouldn't you like for when people think about solving your problem, they automatically go to you and they're like, you've got to speak to this person. They will be able to help you. And this is the types of marketing that we get to share with you. If all this did for you was help you to get your first or next high paying clients, would it be worth it? Because when you learn the skill to acquire a $3,000 client, this is not only a one-time thing. This is a skill you could reuse again and again for indefinitely for the rest of your business career. It is skills that carry with you. So I had two choices when putting together this program. The first option was to go as cheap as possible and give you the bare minimum you need to succeed. But I realized Jesus said, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And it would be hard to provide the resources, the time, the commitment, the thought, the structure to be able, and even the tools like Contact Keeper. We're always looking for new ways to make it easier for you. But that's the first option. The second option is required a little higher investments, but in exchange, I can devote more resources to guarantee your success, more team, more support, more tools that will be able to simplify your life and able to remove yourselves more from the day-to-day. Which of these options would you have wanted me to choose? Type a 1 in the chat for option 1, type a 2 in the chat for the second option if that's you. So I chose to go with the second option because I believe that by charging a more premium price, it can allow me to give you the time, the dedication, the focus on being able to support you in the things that we are promising. And my question is, you've seen a lot of the success that we've had with our previous students. I've shared with you stories and examples and breakthroughs throughout this whole challenge. My question is, will you be our next success story? Because we are looking for more health educators. We're looking to build a movement of health educators who are transforming people's lives with their message in a way that's sustainable. And we would love to feature you here. We would love to share your story with our audience. We'd love to let other people know about what you do and how you help people. And we're excited to see you. I don't know about you, but when I join a coaching program, what I do is instead of trying to ponder, is it going to work for me? Is this going to actually work? What if I do all this and it fails? I think I'm going to be their number one student. I'm going to be one of their best success stories. I'm going to choose to apply these principles and I'm going to work. This is going to work for me. Why? Because I'm going to make it work for me. And in fact, even just this last year, I had the opportunity to go through several of these mentors I've shared with you, and they're using my testimonies. Every time that, like when Pedro Deo, he's sharing his challenge stories, he talks about me. Or Richmond Den, he shares my stories, and these different people that I've worked with, they just I've been able to reach some of these goals, and it's rewarding. But part of the reason is because of the thoughts that I think when considering joining the program. Instead of saying no, I'm not going to get a return or it's too expensive, I think, well, how much awesome will it be when it works for me? So if you want to be a next success story, if you're ready for change and you're ready for the next level, you can get started now for just $10,000. And for $10,000, you can join the Accelerator program. We could be a part of that. If you want the Skills Unlimited, we already mentioned that was $2,000 a year. That's a subscription. This is one-time payment. You get it for life. We're not going to do that forever, but for some of the first people in our Accelerator program, there's just one payment of $10,000. You can get in it for life, and we could work with you. And if you have any desire whatsoever to collaborate, to work together, to extend this learning environment. If price truly is a challenge, that is one of the easiest obstacles to overcome. What I recommend is just go to mentormeenoch.com. Let's book a call. Let's speak together. And I believe that we can find some resources, either resources to pay, or maybe there's a different program or method or way that we could support. And to be honest, like my team and I, we eat, live, breathe, sleep, helping health educators get their message to the masses and sharing these things. We do it throughout the week. We enjoy the work that we do. And there's a variety of ways that we can support each other, help one another out. And if you've liked this and you want to extend the learning environment, then I just encourage you to book a call, go to mentormeenoch.com, and I'm sure that we could figure something out that would be advantageous for each party involved. I do believe in collaboration. I believe in partnerships, and I think that there's ways that there's creative financing options. So if you have any interest at all in working together, then book a call and let's speak together. And I think we could figure something out. Here's an example of Upwork. Upwork is a website where you can hire skilled professionals to do certain work for you. It's very powerful. If you were to go to Upwork and you were to go to, let's say, copywriting, can we put this on full screen? It's kind of a small text. And if you were to ask for a copywriter, what they would charge, here's a lady who charges $200 an hour for copywriting. And just even in Skills Unlimited AI Studio alone, you're going to get AI generated copywriter, which is really the world's first and only AI powered copywriter specifically designed to help holistic health educators monetize their knowledge online. You'll get unlimited access to that. Here's Jason, who charges $120 an hour. Joshua charges $250 an hour for his for copywriting services. And you see that this is just for an hour. That's for one project, but you're gonna get unlimited access for the entire year that you're a part of the program. Like, that's awesome. Here's an example of Christopher. He was struggling. He spent big money on big name coaches, and he was struggling to get clients online. And he was still not really getting the support that he needed. He was in these big programs. He was just another number. He was lost in the crowd, and the support help was not helpful. So he attended our implementation workshop. He joined our accelerator program. He got his first paying clients. He published a best-selling book. And what he said was giving Enoch $10,000 for his accelerator program was the best $10,000 I've ever spent. After spending that on multiple locations or places and not really getting the support that he was looking for. And so now you have two choices. The first option, you could either do nothing and not take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free, or the second option, you can get Skills Unlimited program today, now, with this small investment today compared to the value that you'll receive in return. Just go to mentormeenoch.com and let's talk and let's figure out what would make sense for you. Which path is good for you? And if not one of these two paths, what are some other options? Because we do have different options to work together based on your goals and what your objectives are, your vision, your dream, how God has been working with you. And my guarantee is this: I don't want to take your money if we cannot actually help you. So 100% of what I teach works for 100% of the people who do 100% of the work. My guarantee is, if you make yourself coachable and available, we will help you to get to 6 figures, or we will work with you until you do. So my guarantee is you will either win or we'll work with you until you win. So either way, we're going to help you to monetize your knowledge. We're not just taking your money and hiding and disappearing and ghosting and no longer responding. We're here to support you and guide you. We are linking arms with you during this process. And in our accelerator program, as long as you paid, you will have access to us as long as we're doing this program. And in the Skills Unlimited, it's a subscription. It's just $2,000 a year, and you're going to learn the skills to be able to help you have some of the best financial years of your life, I believe. And you just go to mentormeenoch.com. We'll be able to work with you. And what I mean by coachable is you have to be open to doing something different, doing something new, because like my mother always said, our best thinking got us here, but it's not necessarily going to get us there. So there's times where you learn a principle and you have to be teachable or willing to actually apply. Like for me, when I'm getting coached, I'm like, I'm gonna get my money's worth. I did not pay for me to just listen to this and not do what the advice is. So you got to be coachable. If you don't apply the frameworks, we can guarantee that what we teach works, but we can't guarantee of your work or what you do, or if you actually apply it. So you got to be coachable. And second, you got to be available, meaning you actually have to show up. You don't just like purchase and no show, and then not even like, you're not going to drastically change your life if you don't actually apply yourself to learning the skills that can change your life. Does that make sense? So as long as you're coachable and available, sometimes that's watching the replays, sometimes that's showing up on a call to get unstuck or get support every now and then, or when it's needed. But whatever the case, we're here to support you, and we want to take the risk on ourselves rather than just put a bunch of risk for you. We want to offload that so we can help walk you through the process, and we're here to support you. So the real question is it worth investing even just a few minutes of your time to check this out? Which, if it did half of what I've claimed today on this training, will pay for itself as soon as you get your next 4 new high-paying clients. Think about it. 4 clients at $3,000 is $12,000. That already covered the entire cost of the accelerator. Do you think that with our guidance, and as you can see how many of our students have already been able to get their paying clients, you think you wouldn't be able to make that back 4 clients and then some? This is the type of things that we're going to walk you through step by step on how to do. So again, recap everything that is inside. You're going to get the Skills Unlimited program, which is like a Netflix for health marketing. That's $2,000 a year. You get access to that. You will get Skills Unlimited AI Studio. That's our agents that are trained specially for helping you write your marketing material. That's a $5,000 value. You're going to get 2 VIP tickets to the High Income Health Expert Challenge, so you can invite your guest to be a part of this experience, to learn and grow and learn so much. And you get access to that. And if you invite someone and they decide to join, we'll be happy to give you referrals. And that's one creative way that you could pay for it, is just by referring people. And you don't even have to be a client for us to be happy to give you referrals. Some people want passive residual income. And as you refer people to Skills Unlimited, as they pay every year or every month, and you also get 40% of those commissions, almost half, but it's 40% you get for a lifetime for each of these clients. And then also, you're going to get Offer Creation Secrets, $3,000 value, to help you to craft a offer that converts, so you're clear on exactly what you're providing. You're going to get Signature Speech on Demand, which shows you how to present profitable health talks so that you can sell from stage, selling one-to-many, whether it's online content or offline in-person events. We're going to walk you through that. Our clients paid $10,000 for that, but you're going to get that included as a bonus. You're going to get Platform Promotion Secrets, which will show you how to get booked and paid to speak, how to leverage other people's platforms, what that looks like. We will provide you phone selling secrets, so that now as you have more leads that are coming in and they're interested, they're knocking at your door, then you actually know what to say to them so that they become clients. And that's one thing we find. A lot of health educators, they might get some attention, but they have no idea how to monetize the attention. We'll walk you through exactly what to say. And that's a $10,000 value. And we're going to give you a community of health educators that are here to support you. You can ask questions, get clarity from not just me and my team, but also from your peers, and partner with them and find strategic ways to support each other. And that is priceless. Like the value that you'll get by putting yourself in that type of environment, I mean, we can't really put a price on that. So we're going to say at least $31,000 is everything that's included, and we're not charging $31,000. You can get started today for just $10,000, or the Skills Unlimited is $2,000 to be a part of, And this is something that we'll walk you through. We'll be happy to support you. And if you have any questions at all, just go to www.mentormunich.com. You can open a new tab and open it and just answer a couple questions. Let's find a time on our schedule that works good. Reach out to me in the DMs. Facebook works good. Text also works. And we'd be happy to support you through this process. And then tomorrow, again, we're not done. Last thing I want to say is tomorrow, we're going to be sharing about the 8 costly mistakes keeping health educators stuck at $10,000 months or less. And I'm going to give you a step-by-step profit blueprint that as you're leaving the challenge, will show you exactly what to cover and what we will be talking about. So you don't want to miss that. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And because we're saving some of the best for last. But until then, remember, God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Have a great day, and God bless.